Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this plenary conference titled Game-Based Approach for Physical Education Teachers. The speaker is going to be Sixto González-Víllora. Contextualizing Sixto's curriculum, he is full professor at Faculty of Education in Cuenca at the University of Castilla-La Mancha, Spain. From 2016 to 2021, he has been the dean of the faculty. He graduated in primary education and physical activity and sport science, as well as doctorate in sport performance. He has lectures at different educational levels. His international teaching and research periods have taken him to Brazil, United States, and Portugal. He is co-author of over 100 published scientific articles in Journal Citation Report and Estimago Journal Ranking Index journals, and of more than 10 books. His lines of research are based on pedagogical models, anticipation and decision-making in sport, inclusion in physical education, and neuroeducation. Today, we would like to say thank you for being here with us. Now, I give the floor to Professor Sixto González-Víllora.
Good morning. Thank you very much for the presentation, Dr. Melito. For me, it's a very pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for the invitation to participate in this important congress, especially a scientific committee, especially the University of Granada. All right. Thank you. The title is Game-Based Approach for Physical Education Teachers. The first one, I introduce my university, is in the center of Spain, or south of Madrid, 2 hours or south of Madrid by car. And Granada is in the blue point, is 4 hours by car to my university. My university has 4 university campuses, is Toledo, Ciudad Real, Cuenca, and Albacete. Albacete is my city, is in this point. And we work and we research in research group, sport and physical activity teaching. We have different research topics like sport pedagogy, talent identification, or evaluation of decision-making in sport. The introduction of this session is consolidate pedagogical model for physical education. We have 4 pedagogical models. The first one is game-based approach. We speak about this pedagogical model in all sessions. And this is an approach like learn technical tactical skills with tactical awareness. Well, the second one is sport education with the Dr. Dario Sientov, and is stimulate authentic and enthusiastic experiences. The third one is cooperative learning. It's a very good pedagogical model. Is to promote intrinsic motivation with positive attitudes to learn. And the fourth is the personal and social responsibility. Is a pedagogical model teach life skills within the society. Well, there are more pedagogical models. What is the difference of emerging or consolidated pedagogical model? The difference is experiences, is educational innovate, is background, research background, international research background. Is a consolidated pedagogical model, you need research in different countries, in different cities, etc. Emerging pedagogical models, outdoor adventure, physical literacy, self-construction of sport materials, etc. Well, the talk today is for pedagogical model for sport pedagogy and coaching. For me, under a point my view, there are three important pedagogical models in sport pedagogy and coaching. Two of them is consolidated, and one is development in this time. Teaching game for understanding or advance in game-based approach, sport education, and the third is non-linear pedagogy based in dynamical system theory. This pedagogical model is approached to performance games or performance sports. Well, my colleagues, Fernández Río and Iglesias from University of Extremadura and University of Oviedo, did an umbrella review in physical education and sport pedagogy, and they look for strengths, gaps, and weaknesses. The strengths are four: is cognitive, physical, affective, and social issues or dimensions. The gaps are special needs, students with special needs, is girls play than the boys, girls are a very good active lifestyle or not, is less than boys. What do you do about this? And weaknesses, for example, skillful play, fidelity of the pedagogical models, or student coaches. Depending of game-based approach, we finish the introduction of this session, and the next part of this session is deepening of game-based approach with the focus with tactical awarenesses. This is the index. We talk about origin and introduction, this pedagogical model, objectives and characteristics, how to teach game-based approach, scientific evidence on practical implementations, combination and hybridization with other pedagogical models, game-based approach with sport education, with cooperative learning, with another, and conclusion and perspectives. Thank you very much for the Rod Thorpe, for David Bunker, or Len Almond, is the researcher group. We begin with this teaching game for understanding, change and a tactical approach. It's important to late 70s, early 80s, we advance for these pedagogical models. So this pedagogical model has more than 40 years. And the real model today is very different than the original model. Why use a tactical approach? What is the critics of the traditional model of the traditional teachings sports? There are three: elitist, overly competitive, very competitive. Boys and girls are very competitive as well, this model, but for the rest students, it's good. Don't not promote health and fitness, but it's important, develop a practical lifestyle in children. Objectives of teaching game for understanding. There are two: intelligent and competent players, sport competent players. And the second, but no less important, is educated spectators. For example, in Spain, we have problems in football stadiums with the spectators. And in other countries, I imagine is the same, no? But we can teach this in PE classes. We teach with empathy, we teach autonomy in the students. There are 40 years in the game-based approach, and there is not only one model, there are variants in the game-based approach. The variants are game sense, play practice, tactical games, tactical decision learning model, ball school concept, and etc. These variants put the focus in different parts, or teach with different traditional in culture and sport culture, etc. For example, game sense is a perspective to performance. For example, play practice is a holistic perspective. We published this book in Routledge 2 years ago, and I think all variants of the game-based approach is in the book. The authors is Javier Fernández Río, is professor in University of Oviedo, Jacob Sierra Díaz, his PhD did in University of Castilla-La Mancha with contextualized pedagogical model, and now he's associate professor in University of Oviedo. Doctora Eva Guijarro, her PhD is in University of Castilla-La Mancha with hybridization, teaching game for understanding with sport education, and now she is an associate professor in the UNIR, and me. The book is a long background. The book is now in 1 or 2 years, is more than 15 years with approach for teachers, for primary and high school teachers, and for researchers. We do different international conferences, international courses. We discuss with different experts, international experts in all of the world. And we publish and we research and we teach in a lot of scientific publications about the pedagogical models, especially in game-based approach or sport education. The book is published in Spanish, in Editorial Morata, and in Routledge, And now we publish in Portuguese, because for me it's very important the inclusion for research, and we publish in Portuguese because it's important the Portuguese and Brazilian teachers and researchers. Not only say, without we do. In Editorial Apris. What the new in this book is holistic development, enjoyable for the students, focus on thinking, reflection, discuss, different variants, game sense, teaching game for understanding, game-based approach, authentic assessment, contextualized assessment, sport categories. We teach in different sport categories, and it's no blueprint. It's a help for the teachers, but the teacher must contextualize this book for the real context, for the school, for the high school, for the football academy, for the basketball academy, etc., etc. There are 7 chapters. The first one is the background. The second is invasion games with the tactical games approach. The third chapter is networks games with game sense. The fourth chapter is striking and fielding games with developmental game stage model. And the last one chapter is hybridization, game-based approach with other pedagogical models. In teaching game for understanding, we have 3 objectives, 3 principal objectives. This is important. We teach with 10 PE sessions, and we need to teach culture, sport competence, and autonomy. This is a model. And we build these objectives in different sessions. The characteristics are teaching techniques to search, no instructions, no I do something and the students repeat. No, it's thinking, it's strategy, it's tactical awareness. New lessons plans, I explain in the next slides, and relation between tactics and techniques and tactics is not for separate, is a big relation. We teach with modified games. It's important because we teach with more participation and with more intrinsic motivation. And there are two approaches, horizontal and vertical approaches. Horizontal is approach that do teach all strategies in one sport category, and vertical is with one sport. For example, horizontal is invasion games, and vertical is basketball, futsal, football, basketball, handball. All right? What is the model? The model is the first is the game. We start the session with the game. And when I do some courses with PE teachers, one question is, and warm up? No, there is not warm up. We play with modified game, the first in the session, on game-based approach. The second one is game appreciation. The third is tactical awareness. Fourth, making appreciate decision making, tactical awareness, anticipation, perceptions. Fifth is skill execution. We work technical, tactical skills in the model, in this part. And the sixth is performance. We try that we learn in all parts in the final part of the session. What are the modified games or small side games? I don't like for the teaching the official sports. It's very complexity for our students. We need reduce the complexity, the tactical complexity. Why? Because the students need perception, need anticipation, need decision making, need execution in a context easier than them. There are exaggeration games, representation games, and reduced games. There are a research topic about this. There are a lot of papers about small side games and small side and conditioning games. And it's an interesting topic because we teach with this strategy. Which variables to modify in these games? All PE teachers need expert in this. We modified balls, number of balls, small balls, medium balls, big balls, the colors is different. Number of passes, goals, 2 goals, 3 goals, 4 goals, big goals, small goals. Number of players, 3 versus 3, 5 versus 3, 5 versus 4, 4 versus 4 more joker player. We changed the strategies because the students learn in this context. They learn playing games on sports. We change the rules, we change the time. For example, Abad Robles explained in spatial dimensions. It's a larger area, it's more competition because the players can play with long passes or short passes. Number of players, fewer players, more contact with the ball. More players, more number of long passes. It depends on the objective. If you want to teach long passes, you can change this. Duration, less than 10 minutes, goals, and rules manipulation. If you want no more, I advise read Abad and Robles. Game-based approach session. I said in the next slide, I explained the new session. This is for the constructivist paradigm. It's a no conductual, no behavioral paradigm. And the session is with the next parts. First one, modified game. One. Next, tactical awareness. Is questioning. Third, skill execution with these technical tactical skills. Return to modified. Game 2 is advanced to the game 1 with the tactical awareness. And finally, reflection, thinking about attack and about defense, about decision makings, and technical tactical skills and anticipation. Well, in this part, in skill execution, we teach with corrective tasks. For example, if I am a P teacher and I observe in the session there are problems in the control of the players, I do a corrective task about development to control for this of pass, for then scoring. But important in this corrective task is develop to the control skills. Well, questioning. Questioning is in this part, and here we can ask to the students for all of the sessions what to do better attack, what improve the tactical problems, for example, maintaining the ball in attack, for example, scoring in attack, for example, prevent to the scoring in defense. Teaching strategies, some questions, the PE teachers, before and after implementation a session. What is happening in the game? In the game with my boys, in my girls, in 7 or 8 years, or with 11 or 12 years, not with adults, not with the performance players, with my students, with my players. What happened in the game? What situation do we want to create to develop the tactical awareness? Do we need to change something to playing conditions? In attack, in defense, change in attack, in defense, change defense to attack, and etc. Teaching strategies is important. In games and sport, there are specific language, and the students need to learn this specific language. There are 2, verbal and non-verbal languages, and the player should be assimilation for this very good communication in games and sport. They need to speak with the teacher or the coach. They need talk between the team with other students. Progression in tactical technical complexity according to expertise, maturity, and player characteristics in games and sport. The more complexity is invasion sports. The second is net and ball sports. Field and bat sports, bull ice sports, and individual sports. Well, this is easy. For the first sessions, we teach with this, is possible. And this is difficult for the students. In the past, we did a review about tactical evaluation tools. The assessment is very important in the game-based approach. It's a contextual assessment. And the results of this review is in this slide. We have 5 tools for assessment to decision makings and problem solve. Like game performance assessment instrument is in the USA, is common with Mitchell, Griffin, and collaborators. Performance assessment in team sport is a French perspective, Goodwood, etc. Procedural tactical knowledge test is a German perspective with MEMER, and game performance evaluation tool is a Spanish perspective with García López, with me and other collaborators. And the system of tactical assessment in soccer, only in soccer and in futsal, is a Portuguese and Brazilian perspective with Dr. Israel Teoldo and collaborators. The last one is not a tool, but when you go at the next step, you need a game performance analysis for your specific team. It's for the new stadium, for the performance. All of these tools, assessment, problem solving, like scoring, preventing scoring, or restarting play. And another paper is tactical expertise assessment in youth football using representative tasks. This is important. Representative tasks in the assessment. We need the time, the space, the ball, the number of players are representative to the sport. It's small, but it's representative. If not, we assessment another thing. In this paper, there are some practical examples in football, and in another sport, we need more research about this. And the third pedagogical model for the teaching games of sport is nonlinear pedagogy based to dynamical system. If anyone learn more, I advise read nonlinear pedagogy in skill acquisition, which show Baton, Davids, and Reznau are very good professors and researchers. And in this pedagogical model, we work in a triangle with constraints, organism constraints, like personal constraints, contextual constraints, and task constraints. And we teach with anticipation, with perceptions, with technical tactical actions, and we improve the movement, the sport movement. Well, and in the past, we work in a Finder, in a physical education tool Finder, allows you find physical education tools. We teach in the past PhD students, but they have a problem. They don't find validate and fidelity assessment instrument. And we create this PE tool Finder, is free. You can use with this website, and you look for different tools for psychology, for PE, for sports, for games. Practical applications. There are 3 types of implement of this pedagogical model: Karner-Smith, Hasty, and Kitchen. Full version, I read the book, the expert book, and is 1% fidelity, and I teach with all. The second one is the watered down version. I cut some things or these pedagogical models, but I put in my teaching something different of this pedagogical model. And the next one is the cafeteria style. Is for example, I work in football academy or in basketball academy, and I adapt the pedagogical model for this specific context. In this case, for the performance, and another case for another vulnerable people or different context. All of these applications are based on evidence in scientific evidence. There are some examples, a lot of authors, a lot of researchers, a lot of countries, a lot of universities. This model is efficiency in cognitive, in physical, in affective, in social issues. We change the topic now. What do we know about hybridizing models? For example, by car, or for the animals, for the nature. We did a systematical review published in European Physical Education Review. In this paper, there are the 20 articles more important in hybridizing models. Some results in this systematical review. In physical and cognitive issues, for example, Anton and Fernandez Rio said studies that hybridizing of game-based approach with another pedagogical model to foster in studying decision-making and skill execution. Well, the model is specific in this objective. And some major improvements in vulnerable populations. For example, and for me it's very important this, I have a girl with 8 years, and for me it's very important female children plays games and sports. With this model, the girls improve tactical technical knowledge. Is demonstrated with evidence. And students with lower levels of perceived physical ability improve. Araujo and collaborators. And in social and affective issues, some results. Improvement in basic psychological needs, Hilarias and collaborators, and more motivation and enjoyment in the PE teaching. So there are some strengths, there are some weaknesses. For example, one of these strengths is the limitation of the pedagogical model involved can be reduced to a singular pedagogical model. It's good. And for example, one weakness is require knowledge of the pedagogical models to be hybridizing. What if I want to combine teaching aid for understanding with sport education? We need to teach before this pedagogical model in singular in different years. And the next, we can hybridize these models. One picture, the result of the excellent hybridizing pedagogical model must provide electricity energy or gasoline electricity, and can combine or can choose, it depends if with my car is a big speed or not. It's a very good example, students learning, adapted to the educational context, but be careful. Be careful. Because there are bad combination too, lack of knowledge or lack of teaching experience. This is a Renault Express with a Mercedes, and this picture is speak. Be careful. Conclusions for the sessions: put the game-based approach into practice in your halls, in your pavilions, in your courts, with your students. It's important. Promoting lifelong games players and developing sporting skills and tactical awareness. Tactical awareness is not game performance. It's problem solving. It's identify the problems in the sport context and learn and do better decision making than before. Some perspectives, for example, depending on the implementation of the game-based approach in different countries, Brazil, USA, Australia, Spain, Portugal, there are different contexts. Hybridization of the game-based approach with other pedagogical models, like cooperative learning, like the personal and responsibility model, application of the neuroscience, neuroeducation. There are some advantages about this topic and other advice you read about neuroscience. Application on artificial intelligence. This changed the world. And PE need good application on artificial intelligence. And others, sustainability, inclusion, integration. My research group have a website. You can read if it's free. We have 4 topics in the website. Active breaks for physical activity. High capacity, gifted students is a new topic for us. Neuroeducation and pedagogical models. The website now is in Spanish, but some articles are in English. And finally, thank you very much for the invitation to participate to this conference. Thank you very much, University of Granada. Thank you very much to the scientific committee. And if you have a question, any question of someone explain something about this topic, you're welcome. Thank you.